But some of the things, I don't have very many charts. I got a lot of videos to show, a lot of work to show, but some of the things that are really moving me forward, moving my teams forward, is the global spending is increased. Tons of iPads, tons of devices, touchscreen devices are getting made and used. 30% of UK drivers admit to updating Facebook and using mobile apps while driving, which I thought was a terrifying but very interesting fact. Any English people here? People from England? I mean, bad enough drivers already, let alone that they're updating their Facebook. Laugh. 20 in the bathroom this morning. And 60 million users shop on their phones on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So a lot of this stuff is happening, and it's all around us, and it's the business that we're working in, right? So this is, when I work with my teams, this is, when we're working through an idea, we have this as our roadmap most of the time. And when I started working, this was basically all we had, was websites and online ads that drive you to websites. Then gamification started, and we started building lots of games and banners, and we started, building games for the internet, Flash, social networks and tools, mobile, and now out of home and beyond. And essentially, where we've been is from having one screen in a fixed environment to many screens, right? I can play games with other people, I can do things while I'm watching television. So now we have many screens and everything happens in the environment. So the place where I think everything is going, and what I'm here to talk about today, is basically where our business is moving, right? So right now, everybody that's in this room, I would imagine, has a high-speed internet connection somewhere near them, probably in their pocket. We carry around devices that have very sophisticated sensors, right? Our iPhones have sensors in them, and we're surrounded by them. We have high-definition still and video cameras, which make it possible for us to capture information. And it doesn't have to be just, a QR code. It can be something, quite sophisticated. And on top of all of that, we're constantly giving information about it ourselves, right? So the title for my presentation came from, I was in Best Buy 2-3 weeks ago. No, it was right before I did this presentation. And I like to go, does anybody else like to go to electronic stores on the weekend and kind of listen? And is it just me? That's what the picture's from, right? And so what I was doing is just kind of looking around at what people are buying and what they were picking up. And this couple was on the other side of the cabinet, or the display from me. And then he had an Android pad, and she was looking at an iPhone or something. And she turned around and she said, you know what, we should just wait for the one with the hands-free touch screen. Right? I went, oh, that's pretty cool. When's that come out? But I just thought, that's kind of the way that we're living right now. I mean, we are a Wii controller if we want to be, right? We expect to be able to do things with our hands. We expect to be able to do things by moving. And now with Siri and all this other recognition stuff, we expect to be able to do that. So where I see all of this stuff crashing together, I think a lot of people are in the same opinion, is there's a lot of things that are happening around projections and data being visualized that you can interact with. There's lots of enhanced gaming. There's lots of things happening with sensors. Codes and QR readers, and readers of advertising, and then brain activity interaction with the person who was on just before me was talking about the contact lenses and things like that. I'm actually much more interested in how all of this stuff works together with the mobile device and the sensors that we're surrounded with us simply thinking about it by our brain activity being registered. You can ooh if you like, but no boo, only ooh, right? So I'm going to show some work, right? So starting with enhanced gaming, anybody playing Epic Win? Okay, so Epic Win essentially turns your very boring to-do list into a role-playing game. So roll BT.
In a world of chaos, one hero must emerge who can vanquish any task. On the journey of a lifetime filled with perils, overspilling inboxes, unmopped floors, forgotten milk. But on this journey comes a new form of motivational power to obliterate the washing up and to take home the milk. Remember and achieve your real-world goals with Epic Win, the streamlined to-do list with an RPG setting. and reward yourself for completing all the tasks you've been putting off. Beat them up and gain experience points and loot. You'll level up your life and your character as you progress. And really get things done.
So I looked at something like Epic Win. If you're familiar with it, Epic Win, before the game was even released, they made a trailer of the demo that got over 250,000 views on YouTube from people just going to look at the trailer for a demo for a game, right? So there's interest in this. And I look at this and I kind of go, so the gamification of a really smart brand or really smart advertiser can start putting messages into this. So you layer that over the top of people want to be able to turn things that they're doing that are kind of mundane into a game, and then for us to be able to build creative messages into it. But where do we do that, right? Do we do it with sensors that are reacting to us? Do we do it on the phone? Those are the kinds of questions I want to pose to you guys today, because I think that this is some very fun stuff. Disney app mates, we can just play this down. Maybe turn the volume down just a hair. So I'm not sure if you've seen AppMates. Disney's bringing out a line of games that are for the iPad, and what you do is you buy the toys, and then you interact with the game on top of the iPad. And so it does, everything reacts to what you do with it. You can power up the game. You can buy more objects for your cart to be able to have. It's got augmented reality things built into it. You can share it. I mean, this kind of thing really blows my mind, because right now when we're buying children toys and games like this, we're essentially training them that they're not training them, but we're conditioning them that this is the kind of thing that you do now. You have a surface, it's hooked to the computer, and you play with it. Does anybody have the dog or cat toys for their iPad? I'm the only person here that does this stuff. It's not possible! So, but I mean, even my dog will play with the bone burying iPad thing, and he'll destroy it. Second iPad, right? I'll play a little bit of this. You can take the volume all the way down on this, please. So this is a project we did with video. Roll DT. There you go. This is a project we did with Toyota in our office in Sweden. And anybody who sells vehicles, sells cars, especially in this day and age, it's very difficult. What we were trying to do was to get people to experience hybrid drive. And again, if you sell vehicles, it's very hard to get people to go to dealerships. So what we did was we staged events at very busy traffic areas around Stockholm, where we had vehicles that had giant glasses of water on top of them. And when people were stuck in the traffic jams, we gave them, they were able to download, we gave them the address to download a glass of water. So essentially the idea is you put the app onto your dashboard, and it acts like a virtual glass of water. So hybrid driving, a lot of it is about how efficient the engine is. So essentially you can turn your driving experience in your car into a hybrid by, if you don't brake really fast, right, and you don't accelerate really fast, and you don't do kind of driving things that will waste fuel. You're simulating the way a hybrid goes. And so what we did further from this was then turn it into a game where you could download it. It looks for other people that are driving you a route, and then it compares you to other people that are doing it. So we managed to drive traffic for this. Again, anybody who sells sheet metal at the moment, you know that's very hard. But for a brief shining moment, we were above Angry Birds in the App Store. It's 1 million Facebook fans and Angry Birds are the two now numbers that we have to beat, right? This is the last of the gaming things. This is from Lego, and this is I think a really interesting game. So Lego must be facing a kind of a future where, if you can play this down, please. Facing a place where people are buying less and less blocks and buying more kind of electronic games. So what this does, which is really cool, is it combines the app with the game, with puzzles, with a community aspect to it. So what you do is, George is someplace, and you have to find the things that are around George. You have to make them out of your Lego, put them into the grid, and then snap it, and if you do it correctly, it then starts building the environment, right? So I like this, right? Because it has a bit of a learning aspect to it. I look at the applications for this and the things that you could do with clients, you know, rather than us just saying, do a QR code, we could actually get them to interact with our product in different ways, and then record that, and then get them to be able to use our product more often in these demos. Because this is essentially just a product demo for Lego, right? Lego's awesome. You can make lots of stuff out of it, and you can call your friends a loser. Okay. So iButterfly, I think most of you have probably seen this. I'll just play it down. The thing that I think, if you can just play this, please. The thing that I think is really interesting about iButterfly, and I really prefer this, I've done augmented reality stuff for nearly 10 years. And the thing that was always a real drag for it, anybody who does AR, is it's really fussy, right? You have to aim the camera, it's got to be in a certain spot. But the thing that I like about this is that we can, and we're looking at for a client right now, is how can you take automation, stock, social media, and phones, and combine that together to make this into an opportunity to drive sales, right? So you are a clothing manufacturer, you manufacture food, you have an overstock, you have something you want to do. Essentially what you can do with technology like iButterfly is send out an intelligent swarm of coupons, right? That could surround me wherever I am or wherever I'm near your store to collect them. Everything's marked. It can do an automatic sale, and with a wallet, I mean, you could be walking down Oxford Street and very far away from the Levi's store, it knows that I dig Levi's because I'm on their Facebook page, so it releases a swarm of these coupons at me and I'm a mile away, or where I'm going to be in 50 feet. So it's very beautiful and it's a very, very cool thing, but this is, you know, where you know, with us not wanting to chop down forests every time we put out a coupon, it's a very interesting place to be. Humans as QR codes. You can take the volume down on this. So if you can play this down. So recognizer, everybody say recognizer? A lot of the stuff that we do, and we try to work with, you know, really freaky mad scientists as much as possible to find these things to make them more commercial. Is this not playing? Will I have to act it out as kabuki theater? No? No video? There you go! Woo-hoo. Oh, that means the volume up. This is down, that means play. And I can't run up the stairs to get you with my phone leg, so. There you go! Okay, so recognizer. A friend of mine that I showed this to said, this is really bad because it will give stalkers ideas. But what it essentially does is you take a photograph of your face, or it does objects as well. You then take the different ways that you have to contact you or different content, and you put it around your face or around whatever that image happens to be, so that when someone sees you and does a recognize on you, it ports all that. It doesn't port your like credit card numbers onto their phone, but what it does is it pulls that information through to you. So you meet this girl that doesn't look very happy to be there, and you take her photo, and then all of this information appears on the screen. I look at this kind of stuff and I go, you know, with cameras getting so good, the technology around this, you know, being able to go into a store and take a photo of a pair of jeans and have it look at everything that's in your wardrobe because you've already got it marked, right? Figure out an outfit for you. Have an online maven look at it and think whether you look good at it, and then accessorize it. I mean, these kinds of things, aside from the sparking end of it, are very interesting retail opportunities. Side by Side by Disney. So you can just play this down. This one we're going to jump ahead. This is the jump ahead. We even practiced today. There you go. So Side by Side, experiment being done by Disney. Well, not experiment, they're really making this stuff, which is ultra cool. What these are very high-powered, well, not in this example, projectors, and they're really big. And you look at them and go, oh, they're too big. But remember when mobile phones used to be this big? So what happens is the projections have sensors built around them so that if they see another object that's being projected, it can start to combine them together, right? And it can do different things. So this is, there's a bit of Minority Report to this, but now Minority Report's is becoming real, right? So this is a boxing game. So rather than you playing a boxing game on the tube by yourself, you could project it on a wall, or you could even using AR, just point the phone and be able to see it in augmented reality, right? So the thing, this is all very cool, and it's small, and it's kind of niche, but I look at this and go, very, very high-powered mobile phone projectors are out already, they're coming, and even more are happening. We really like gaming. This is King Kong, but imagine a projector that's big enough so that we could put it on the wall of this, right? So the objective here, I think, is create content that people love so much that they're projecting outdoor advertising for you that's so compelling that other people want to play with it as well. Don't you look at this and you just go, it's like 1975 and this is now? Isn't it cool? Yes, Thomas, very cool. Thank you. Move along here. Projections. Moving into projections. You might have seen this demo before. Can we turn this down with some volume and maybe talk about it at the end? Oh, sorry, I have to press the button. So it's a real simple mobile phone hooked into a slingshot. The slingshot's loaded with sensors. You have a high-definition projector behind you. You put content onto the screen and you snap it. The projector looks at how far and how much pressure you put on it, and it splats it onto the wall as a projection. Right? And this is all just people hacking phones. I mean, the guy that was on before was talking about Siri and BMW, and the BMW doing a thing and Siri doing another thing. A hack just got released yesterday, where they can already hack your Prius or any Toyota vehicle with your Siri and talk to your car and tell it to warm up, start up, unlock, open the trunk from your phone. And that's just people hacking open source stuff. Imagine if stuff was actually open source and not happening, right? So, you look at this and I kind of go, the more that we look to this, especially outdoor media, I mean, how do you control this? On one side, it's very, very interesting. On the other side, we have to have great ideas to work with it. And this stuff. So brain wave control stuff is, may sound any weirder than I already am, but we're used to wearing Bluetooth and we're used to wearing things on our head. We're not averse to putting ourselves in and around very high density fields like Wi-Fi. So clothing and objects and glasses and things are becoming so sensitive and sensors are becoming so good that we're going to be able to, you look at this now and you go, oh, it's a toy, it's an experiment, but let's look at a couple of these. These are from any of our brothers and sisters here from Be Real. All right, the mad scientists, right? It's there, don't worry. Can you press play? So, Scale Electric's race cars. The speed is being controlled by that very happy dude from his brain activity being registered. And again, it's just a simple hack. This is a bunch of stuff that they downloaded, went to Best Buy, hacked the U.S. Defense Department, and then built this. Everything we have here is from DARPA anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I look at that and I go, very, very interesting that people are building this because we no longer even have to have controls. We can control and monitor things by our brain activity. So you go, how would I make a product out of that? So Star Wars Jedi, I got this for my nephew and I sent it to him and I got home back to North Dakota I sent it to him and he got on like the 19th and I got home by the 22nd. And this is a game. This is a real game. It's on eBay. Go ahead and play it out. So the Force Trainer, what it is, it's a very, it's a piece of plastic. In the middle of it has a fan, and the graph reader on your head. Once you turn it on, you can train yourself, not unlike Yoda, right? To activate the fan to make the ball rise at different levels. So by the time, within 3 days, my 10-year-old nephew was like that dude. Well, not the old one, the young one. And was able to, you know, was able to do that kind of control. And again, it looks kind of dorky, and you look at it and go, what am I actually going to do with it? But the thing is that when you start to combine things, you start to combine the technology of Siri. We're absolutely, completely surrounded by Wi-Fi. We have lots of information about ourselves floating around, and now we can control this stuff just by thinking about it. Right? I'm less on the camp of somebody's going to stick, dissing the guy before me, that they're going to stick a contact lens in their eye, that they would have a very, very small thing inside of their ear, which is activating things that they have pre-programmed with their brain activity. Aren't you totally going to go buy one of these? Who's in an agency? You could expense this. You could click research. And then how do you scale it up for outdoor, right? So this is an RE project, obviously from the name, right? And if you can just play this down. And this building is wired with LEDs and light thingies. And what it does is it takes that dude there that looks like he's really high, but he's just concentrating. His brain activity is being projected around the building. I like this guy. The next one. Next one. And it's just solid. It's like no brain activity. That guy. But again, you know, all of this stuff is colliding, right? And all of us are in, I suppose all of us are in the creative business, right? And this is where we work. This isn't sci-fi. I mean, within the next, as all of this stuff keeps colliding and all of this social stuff keeps coming together and more of these sensors and more of this stuff starts happening, we have to be ready to make ideas for this. So what my provocation today is, you know, we need to start thinking about it. Not thinking about it, chipping away at it and doing it. I'm a snowboarder, and I did put this in just because I'm a snowboarder. This is, I think, one of the best examples of an actual commercial piece of work. That is really redefining this. So Burton, Nokia started doing the Push project a couple of years ago. Everybody's Push skateboards were the first thing they did. So what they did was they wired skateboards with fairly sophisticated sensors, so that when you skated and you had the Nokia in your pocket, it tracked what you were doing. So speed, wobble. And you know, if you jumped and left the air, right? So Burton has partnered with Nokia, and again, when you look at this and you go, okay, is it a product? Is it an ad? Is it, you know, what is it? Nokia has released all of the code that makes Burton makes all of this stuff. They've released it, so this is all open source. So when people are looking to develop this for other products, it's available to be able to do, which I think is quite a generous way to do things, and I also think it's the way that brands are going to continue to survive. Because almost every brand that I work with Toyota and P&G and T-Mobile and Nissan, you know, along that, right? And what they're all looking at is they want to get someplace, but they can't always get someplace by themselves, right? And what I'm not a fan of is building very big, expensive websites and very big, expensive destinations. We have to build very, very sophisticated, expensive ad campaigns to drive somebody to someplace that they wouldn't naturally be, right? So I look at this and I go, all of this stuff kind of fits together. Snowboarding is I think, a fantastic example of how this works. And so there's a short version of this, and if we have time, I wouldn't mind looking at the long version. Okay? So roll VT. Actually, wait a minute. Right? Let's just go to, we've got time. I'd rather go to the longer version. That's okay? Can you play this one down? And put the volume up, please?
choreographed back in the day. I mean, we were wearing basketball shoes, and the events were straight shots, and we were going over 60 miles an hour with basketball shoes on. Rubber, like water ski bindings, the best way to explain it. It was so prehistoric. This product called a snurfer. It was just a little piece of wood, and it had a string in the nose, so you stand on it and ride down. And this was a chance to sort of surf on smell, and it just appealed to me right away. It's taken so long to get to where we are. I mean, it's been over 30 years, and it's not like a .com company or some internet thing that just happened overnight.
The whole idea, having an application on the phone that actually tracks what you skate. So it's a normal skating game that you would play on the console, but for real, like if you've done a super trick, like a wonderful 360, and the program detected it's a wonderful 360, then you can Twitter it or send it to your Facebook account.
We've taken the skate concept and we've put it onto a mountain. There's obviously some quite big differences. So, you know, it's about the different kind of sensors that we're involving, the different kind of measures, the forces that are put upon the board and upon the rider, that we're going to create data that developers will be able to use. In 5 years' time, I mean, for snowboarding, we hope that everyone will have this kit, and what we want to do is turn all of the world's mountains into playgrounds.
So I look at that, and aside from having putting my geeky snowboard, goggles on, I look at that and go, it's going to that technology and the ability to do that is going to combine with lots of other things, right? So computer manufacturers are making more sophisticated chipsets and very, very tiny chipsets than they are computers, right? Because everyone wants to know what we're doing, and the way to do that isn't to track us on our computers, right? Because that's where we store our information. The real information is what we do and what we think, right? So the way the curtain is, and you kind of look at it and you go, oh, you got to do the things on your legs, and you got to do all this kind of stuff. That Burton's already building, they've already built clothes that have Bluetooth networks built into them, right? So my jacket that I ride in has a Bluetooth system built into it, so I can take phone calls and hit a tree, and it plays back through your iPod, and it's got speakers built into it, so the technology is already moving there. So then you look at that, you go, people making smart fabrics that have these sensors built into it, right? Nike Plus has kind of shown the way. That was the grandfather whoop to Nike for that, to start this kind of stuff going. But the amazing thing about this is it's all about the brand and it's all about the device, and what a great product demo, right? How would you demonstrate the most sophisticated Nokia phone that has the most sophisticated movement built into it, fantastic screen, and it's very, very fast? Right? Because when you're moving 40 miles an hour, you can't have a phone and a processor that's right behind you. And what happens if you didn't get it from this? You look at your ride, and you look within an inch of how you move. And what it does is it tracks everybody who's run the same track that you've run, and it lays you together. So it essentially turns the world into a video game. What this is going to do to the Olympics and to competitive sports, I have no idea. Right? Will we be picking our athletes and people that compete for us by using this kind of technology, or will it still just be based on human achievement, right? So it's a pretty amazing thing. And this is where, I hope the industry is going, because the thing is, a lot of us are still talking about how do we reinvent digital, and now it's called integrated, and then it's called innovation, and all these kind of things come together. What we have to start thinking about is how do we stay nimble enough and create ideas. What Sergio was talking about, an umbrella idea that's big enough that all of this stuff can fall down underneath it, right? And that's what, the young teams, young teams that I work with, I'm always saying, that's nice, we have to cover everything up, absolutely cover up, the reels and the technologists and the Anaboos and the companies to make this content with us. Our jobs are to have the vision to look forward, right? But all this stuff comes down to, and when I talk to everybody, and I was on the phone before talking to my crew about some of these ideas, it's absolutely keep it simple, right? Because if you make mobile and all this stuff really, really tricky, it becomes very hard. I don't have time to do all that stuff, but I do have enough time to keep it simple for me, right? Keep me and what I'm interested in at the center of an experience. I love brands. I love the subversion. I love these great brands. They're not the center of my world. I am, right? So when you're creating this work, keep me and the people at the center of it. Connect everything in every screen. We call it the cake. We call it the cake. So we bake the cake. So here it is. No crumbs left on the table when we slice that cake out, right? So everything we make, if it is possible to make another piece of content out of it, make it, right? Make sure we've got it. Make sure that it stays within budget and that it's on brand. And I'm not saying go out there with a machine gun and carpet bomb the media, but the more content you have, if it becomes wildly popular, like the T-Mobile stuff that we've done, it's good to have that content there, especially around mobile. Get an idea with an ending and perhaps an next beginning, as Samantha and Sergio said as well. Man, as soon as this stuff hits, you better know what's going to happen to the next thing. Because if you've got 250,000 people, especially with mobile phones, that are engaged with you, you need to tell them what the next thing is that you want them to do and where you're going to take them. Because this is all a journey, right? As we move and as we're moving around, we want to be kept in the loop. And the most important thing is reward the viewer with a great experience. I think the world is dark enough as it is, and that there are enough bummers that are happening all the time, that if we as an industry can start to make work that is hopeful and makes people's world a better place, then I think that we will be doing two jobs. Yeah? And we'll have really great karma. So that's it for me. Thank you very much. I've got 2 minutes and 40 seconds if you have one question.